Turn it up, Yaya, to a medium volume. It's midday. People are working.
Turn it down, dude.
Yeah, not quite that loud. A little lower. A little lower. All right, a little higher. All right, add some reverb. Add some echo.
I actually hate this song. Can we change the song?
Shut the song off. This is too much, Yaya. What the hell? Damn it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Let's go. Let's go.
Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use that code DNVR365. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Hop into Toyota chat. It's where Denver Nuggets fans hang out. Great show for you lined up today. Huge news in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Honestly, sneaky huge news. This is
Absolutely.
big deal as Steven Adams is out for the year.
Yeah.
Is one contender off the board, or does that mean that they are even more incentivized to go all in and make a big trade? We'll talk about that. We've also got Javon Carter in studio.
Big get for us.
Huge get, man.
Especially right around the trade deadline.
One of my favorite players, Javon Carter, West Virginia, Chicago Bull, target for the Nuggets. Very excited to talk to him about big brothers, big sisters. And then later on in the show, MPJs in town. We got a lot of MPJ discussion to go over. So we brought in Brendan Vogt.
Yeah, what's that? Sorry, my ears just perked up.
Oh, you could make it today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was available. Very excited to do this show and to probably for the 6th time, and this is not a complaint, give my top 5 MPJ moments.
Different every time, too.
I'll do it, and I'll do it again tomorrow if you ask me.
Over here, his name is D-Lanco.
That's right. And just in case you weren't clear on Adam's wry humor, it's not actually Javon.
Oh. Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Javon Carter is in studio.
Yes.
I see him right there.
I see him right now,
Carter is
man.
in studio. What do you
West
mean?
Virginia legend.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to step on the bit.
Yeah, don't step on the bit. And then rounding out the show, the professional one, Harrison Wind.
That is me, the professional one, of course. I'm hyped for today's show, guys.
Of course.
I love the trade deadline. One of my favorite days of the year. And I feel it in my bones. It's coming. We're getting some more little tidbits of information have been filtering out, hearing more and more. The trade winds are blowing very quickly.
Wind chimes?
And fast.
Wow, this is getting weird. They're blowing hard and fast.
I thought of you when I was watching a movie recently called Transpecos, and it opens with this guy talking about how he can feel something's coming in the wind.
Yeah.
I was like, I know a guy like that.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
And the trade deadline is coming. It's almost a week away.
Yeah,
it's actually about a week away.
There is a salty must about the air.
Well, we have to begin, though, with a new segment here. And it is, of course, the X Factor presented by XFINITY. Imagine that.
Throw those X's up, boys.
Big discussion. I'll throw them up there. XFINITY X Factor right out of the package because a major X Factor dropped on us on X.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, how amazing is that?
It really is.
It's triple X.
It's a triple X, man. This came to us via Sham Sharania, the man in the know, who says, as of an hour ago, Houston Rockets center Steven Adams has undergone season-ending surgery on his left ankle. Season-ending. Now, if you don't watch the Houston Rockets too much, they have some good players. Kevin Durant,
I feel so bad for them. What was happening? The championship game was snowing?
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do this. We never root for anybody's injury, especially somebody as beloved as Steven Adams.
I'm saying, like, I wonder what that feels like to be a Houston fan. And there's a star player to a broken ankle.
I see what you're doing there. It's a Bo Nix thing. Steven Adams, though, if you don't watch, their best 3 players are Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün. Not in that order, but those are their 3 best guys. They have some length. But their identity, their real identity, is that they are so physical and a monster on the offensive boards, in large part because they're the only team in the NBA that commits fully to the double center lineup of Alperen Şengün and Steven Adams. That's their identity. Yeah. They have holes in their roster. They lost Fred VanVleet. They don't have a true point guard. Losing Steven Adams to me is losing your identity.
Yep.
And this team, even though they still have some talented players, as presently constructed, in my opinion, not a contender. Could they upset a team in the playoffs? Probably. I'm not saying Denver would be guaranteed to beat them, but I would be very disappointed if they lost to this team as presently constructed.
I honestly think that was already almost the case with the point guard thing, and credit to them for the way they came out of the gates, sprinting despite that. KD recently in a press conference said, "We're not this mid. I don't get it. I don't get what's happening." I think you kind of just hit the nail on the head. I think
How does he not get it by
Every
now?
team he's been on for the last since he left the Warriors.
I think part of
so
it,
weird, dude.
I think part of it for Houston is without their point guard, one of the bread and butters of their offense was the offensive rebound rate and just the size that they threw out there. And like not having Adams is a big part of that. So like you've already seen them kind of struggle with this. If it's the rest of the year, like I'm not eager to bury Houston or anything. It's just if an equivalent end of year injury happened to the Nuggets, we would be worried. And I think Houston should be worried too.
Oh, they're cooked. They're cooked. Absolutely. Like,
As presently constructed.
right. You can get uncooked, but they're currently cooked. Okay. You can de-cook yourself.
First of all, as an actual metaphor, I don't think that works.
Well, what you do is like you cook a piece of meat and then you cut the piece of meat up and then you turn it into meat ramen. Like you recook the thing.
Wait, what? Okay.
It just becomes it becomes an ingredient into your next cooking.
I'm not wrong. You can't uncook
So
meat.
the point is that they're dead. We knew this when the season started, and Fred VanVleet was out. We all buried them then.
I don't
And
think we
then
buried them. It's just that they were weakened. They were weakened.
I buried them because they need a point guard, and now I agree that they were coming along just fine. They found a new way to do it, but like now that's gone.
Yeah.
They are cooked, and I mean
Another layer of this, though, is that Fred VanVleet was their leader. I mean, he's the veteran guy that everybody respects. Steven Adams also that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the tough veteran guy that you know kind of anchors them. They kind of lost their two leaders.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is an absolute killer. And I mean, the first thing I thought of is, okay, they have to make a massive trade now. You're trading Steven Adams plus
or you're punting on the year, one of the two.
Whatever your package was going to be. Well, they're not going to punt on. They're second in the West.
I'm just saying,
halfway
like,
through the season.
Those are their two choices.
Fourth, but
Yeah.
some point remains.
Or just back of second place in the West. But I mean, they're still good. It's just this has taken them from, in my opinion, right below the Nuggets in the West to now they're well below the Nuggets.
I'm not even sure. I mean, they are good, but they're certainly not great, man. I mean, I just don't know that you could sustain. For one, now they're short players. We know what that's like to have to go through. They have a half a season still to get through, and you're already down two guys permanently. So they already just have the like numbers game they have to play. But to be that big of a part of an identity that you built, Ime Udoka, not an offensive coach at all. He is a defensive guy. You're going to be tough. And Steven Adams was almost like their cheat code. If we're not going to be dynamic on offense and, we're going to do all this stuff, we're just going to beat you by being big and physical. Well, now you can't even be that to the same degree. And so this is huge news. But to me, the bigger story is this changes the trajectory. All year, when I take off my Nuggets analyst hat and I put on my All-NBA one and try to analyze the league not from a Nuggets perspective, I looked at this and said, guys, I have seen this arc before. Houston, you're good. You're very good. But you're not a shoo-in, and Kevin Durant's old, and you should never waste. So even when they just lost Fred VanVleet, I thought they had all these young players and all these picks. You're in love with your own guys, but don't do this. Push your chips in because the window's so tight. Now that you lose Steven Adams to me, if I were Houston, I would not punt on this season. What are the odds Kevin Durant's healthy all year next year?
Not at all.
Not that great. What are the chances that all these young players grow and do all this? It's just not as much of a lock as you think it is.
They're at a rough point.
So to me, it's time, and I think they will now be in. This will instigate them to make a big move, and they have the pieces to do it. They're a rare example of a team that is good now, but has all these draft picks, young players like Tari Eason and everything else.
Yep.
And I have to imagine they're looking at Giannis. They're looking at Michael Porter and any of these other names that have been rumored to be trade pieces, Keon Ellis, whatever else. I have to imagine Houston looks at this and says, we have to do it. We have to figure something out because we are too thin now.
Yep. And I mean, that was such a big part of their identity. It's kind of what helped them make the leap last year from, okay, this is kind of a cool team to, okay, this is actually going to be a team we have to really think about in the West. The Şengün Adams front court. When they just beat everybody with size and strength and physicality up front, and that's parlayed them into having like a very good offense compared to what you think they should have with the offensive rebounding and just that size inside. It's been their DNA. And so now they're just going to look and feel like a completely different team.
Dude, I said this earlier. They have to trade for Giannis. Otherwise, like that's the move they have.
They're one of like 3 or 4 teams that actually can put a package together.
The thing is like they probably would cost them Şengün. And I would do it.
Now you're a completely different identity,
That's what I mean. I don't think that they use Şengün correctly anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So like they never have. So like, and they fight against it. And I don't think Ime Udoka is a great offensive coach, more of an offensive coach.
Yeah, he is offensive.
But like he's not putting like Michael Malone should coach Alperen Şengün and allow him to take the same.
Bring him off the bench.
Yeah, well, whatever. He didn't do. Well, I guess right with Jokic. Point being, like they have to trade Şengün, Eason, and then some of these picks. And it's like if you do that, you're right back in it. But the reason that they were able to do well last year is because Jalen Green was kind of their de facto point guard, along with Fred VanVleet. And like now, Kevin Durant is not that. Yep. Giannis can be that in a weird way. Like he just can be ball dominant. I mean, it really is crazy because this like completely would change their trajectory from what they thought they were on.
Yeah.
To way more win now.
Yeah.
But I think if you do whatever you can to get Giannis in the building.
It would hurt a lot because to do this, I just hopped on the trade machine just now.
Nice.
Şengün, Steven Adams, Tari Eason for Giannis works 3 for 1. So you're going to have to involve other teams and get guys going to other places. They probably ask for Reed Shepherd too. I mean, we're talking about Giannis here. Yeah. So like you probably ask for Reed Shepherd too. Okay, you have to maybe part with him. But now your roster is back to where it began, where you don't have shooting, you don't have a point guard.
Why on earth would the Bucks do that trade?
Şengün and Reed and picks. By the way, I'm also picks. Yeah, also
like
picks.
Like
you
5
need
picks.
No,
they have.
The picks. I'm just assuming like that's the number. Whatever Milwaukee names, you might just have to do it.
Şengün's a good piece to get back.
He's good enough for you to talk your fan base into, and if it doesn't work out, you talk yourself into the picks. It's like, well, we're also going to do this. Look, any Giannis trade is not going to make Milwaukee feel good. They're not going to get a star. They're going to get Luka or something like that.
But also, like Şengün's the type. He's European. Like he wouldn't think Milwaukee sucks like Giannis did. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's also European.
That's what I mean. Like, both of those guys going to Milwaukee, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty great.
Okay.
Versus like if you try and trade an American player, they're like, this sucks.
Yeah, possibly. But the thing is even that framework I look at and say, if you are able to hold on to a Reed Shepherd or something like that, and it's just more picks, even then I look at it and go, all right, they have to figure this out on the fly. Their defense is going to be insane. They're a completely different identity now. Who knows if Giannis and KD's personalities match up? Kind of. Giannis has grown into a bit of a personality that doesn't match with everyone.
That drive and kick combo is, I think, lethal.
What
is?
Giannis drives in, either finishes it or kicks it out to Kevin Durant, who's waiting in the wing. It's like
it's more of a full court though. It's not the half court. It's not always as effective, but sure.
But I just mean like that style would work very well with those two.
Well, here's what would really work: Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Giannis. That's like what? Let me do some math here. 40 feet of wingspan and just 4 players.
Exactly.
That's like good luck scoring on that. And they're all super mobile.
I really hope this doesn't happen. This is like one of these premonitions I had, like when Kevin Durant went to. Wherever he went to last.
So the Rockets are either totally cooked or they push all their chips in. I still think if you made that move, I don't know that they'd win the championship this year.
No,
but next year you get Fred VanVleet back, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense that roster is just so stacked. Yeah. Who knows if they do it? I don't even know if it's being discussed. It's only happened in the last hour. But I do look at it and say, if I'm Houston, I just cannot keep I cannot let this year go because you never know when it's over. Kevin Durant's old enough that you can't waste a single year.
And there are 2 teams that have the huge war chest. Yeah. And it's Oklahoma City, who does not need to improve that dramatically.
It's too big of a risk even for Giannis.
Yeah, but like exactly. Like they risk messing up something that's already very good.
Yeah.
And so there's no sense for them to do it. And now a reeling team with a war chest. And that's why I'm like, dude, that's where he's going. Or he's going to mark it down.
He's going to Houston, huh?
Yep.
Or nothing happens and they just weaken themselves and they make a trade. I mean, we didn't even really talk about Michael Porter, but he could be interesting at least there.
I mean, on the same team as Kevin Durant is at least interesting.
And Jabari Smith and Amen Thompson. Like you just end up having all these guys that are so tall and long. And again, I wouldn't fear that team as much, but it's interesting. We'll see. Huge news and a story that'll be front page on ESPN, I'm sure, for the next 8 days or however long it is till the trade deadline. Let's take a break. On the other side, Javon Carter
In studio.
from West Virginia, the Chicago Bulls, and also Big Brothers Big Sisters. We'll have him on the other side.
Part of that is true.
Shout out to Xfinity. With Xfinity right now, you get a 5-year price guarantee. What if you could lock in that price guarantee at 5 years with Xfinity? You can do that right now. They've got reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi. You keep it at the same price for 5 years. That's what you get with that 5-year guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together and finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. I've got Xfinity. That's what happens with my Wi-Fi. Super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. All your devices working in perfect harmony. You know, you can be streaming a game on your phone, on your iPad. You got the family watching a movie in another room, somebody else on a call. That's kind of what happens at my house. That is able to happen because of Xfinity, the best internet out there. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Xfinity, the 5-year price guarantee. You can get reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi, and you can get it at the same price for 5 years. That is only with Xfinity. Also, shout out to our friends over at New Built Restoration and Construction. If you have a major emergency that hits, you've got to have a licensed general contractor on hand. You got to have somebody on speed dial that you trust, that you can go to when these problems come up. That's where New Built Restoration and Construction comes in. They're licensed general contractors who can help with any project, big or small, available 24/7, and they truly care about their customers. The over 600 reviews prove this to be true. They'll also work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process like this is as smooth as possible. They offer fire damage, water damage, mold removal, repair services, and commercial products under their whole, list of services that they have. They're DNVR people as well. They're here in the bar. They're cheering for our Denver sports team. So if you need a licensed general contractor, hit these guys up when that home emergency hits. New Built Restoration and Construction will be there. NUBILT.com, 720-903-4254. Tell them we sent you.
I was misinformed.
What?
I thought we had Javon Carter of the Chicago Bulls, but instead we have Javon Carter of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
Welcome into the
Yes,
show.
Thank you. That's
So we have this big partnership now with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We've had it going on for quite a while.
Yep.
We talk about it a lot, but your involvement, how did you get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Yeah, I got involved when I was a child. My mom enrolled me as a little when I was in 5th grade. I got into some serious trouble in school for the first time ever. And
Right before
she enrolled me. And as a single mother, my mom needed some extra support and helping to usher me into adulthood. And so she reached out to Big Brothers Big Sisters. I got matched a few months later with my big Mike, and we were matched from 10 all the way until I was 18.
Wow.
At 18, I graduated from the program, but our relationship only got stronger from there. We still hang out very often. We actually just attended the AFC conference game together.
Really?
Oh,
So,
That's really cool.
Awesome
No,
and
it was really
also
cool.
terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we talk about what it is. I think people know you get paired with a child. You kind of become a mentor to them. But walk us through what it was like for you. Like, was this a weekly meetings?
Yeah.
Calls on the phone?
Mike was really involved when we first got matched, and he just kept that consistency throughout our entire partnership. We ask that you hang out with your little at least twice a month. And so Mike and I would hang out like every other weekend unless he had something come up, in which case, we dealt with those conflicts then. He was just a person that I could lean on, talk to anytime you're going through something, have something exciting to share, or just need to get away from the family, get out of the house. That's what your big is there for. That's what Mike was there for, continues to be there for.
And what was it like? What kind of things early on, if you kind of think back to that, you were going through a tough time, like what kind of things were you guys doing together, and what did it, what impact did it have early on for you?
I think I'm competitive. I'm a super competitive person, and Mike realized that early on, and he used that as a way for us to bond together. He's also super competitive. And so them first couple outings, we were going to play horse, one-on-one games to 21, things like that, and just building a relationship through sports, through competing with each other and against one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was winning those one-on-one games?
He would like to tell you that he won the majority of them. I'll go with that story for now.
Okay.
I don't think a fifth grader can beat me in any sport.
That's why I asked.
You know,
Any sport?
Seems
Any
logical.
sport.
Well, you're right. Maybe like, yeah, there's probably a couple
Soccer?
weird ones I never heard of. Soccer? No way. A fifth
Fortnite.
grader?
Look, a fifth grader spends at least
I'll take a
2.5,
fifth grader over
3
you in soccer.
hours.
And I can
at
pick the fifth
recess a
grader.
week.
That's true. They're in way better shape.
yeah. So I mean,
Foursquare? Yeah.
Foursquare.
Actually, that's
tetherball.
true. I never knew Foursquare. My daughter's really into it. I never knew that was.
Oh,
I always
Foursquare was crazy.
Foursquare
in our
was crazy
generation.
competitive.
really.
It got-
See, I had no
Yeah.
idea because I
No,
never,
it-
literally never
Foursquare
played.
was elite.
It got
Huge for me. Yep.
intense.
Yeah.
I didn't play sports. I played Foursquare.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
got
kidding me?
It got
This
intense.
is blowing my
Foursquare
mind.
was awesome. We gotta bring Foursquare back.
We got to
Yeah,
bring
we
it back.
should. We
honestly.
should play.
Foursquare tournament at the DNVR Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm
You guys heard it here first.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, this program really is neat because I think it's one of those things that is actually good for both sides. You know, this is not like it's labeled as, and in large part, it is a charity thing. It's giving back to the community, but I also think it's such a cool experience for the bigs because it gives you an opportunity to connect with someone. Like you're giving something, but it also it's like a real human experience. And it sounds like when you say that. This one went on for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then it was you graduate from it, it's over. But now you're friends. You know, there's like a mentorship relationship. And I think that's what makes it so unique.
Yeah. I mean, and Mike will be the first person to tell you that he got just as much from the program or more that I did. He was, Mike is Caucasian. I'm an African American. And so anytime we hung out together, he had no problem putting himself in my shoes, seeing things from my perspective and my point of view. And I think that allowed me to open up to him a lot more, which allowed our bond to grow so tight and so close.
And what part of town are you in?
I grew up actually a few blocks from here.
Really?
Yes, sir. I'm
Park
from the
Hill?
east side of Denver, Colorado. Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, right on. So, and even I think sometimes for those things, I mean, you talk about there's a cultural difference. One of the things I think is true in life these days is that it's hard to cross cultural boundaries. I always talk about when I went to college, I went to a private college.
Yep.
I was never around wealthy people. And it was kind of the best thing I learned in college was how to be around the upper class. Because if you're never around it, you don't know what it's like. And I think that's true of all little bubbles of life. So even that part of it, I think, is really neat that it just gave you a window into a different world, him a window into a different world, and you both get something from it.
Yeah.
Are you a big now?
I am not a big. I started the application to become a big and then found out my wife is expecting.
Oh, congratulations.
I had to close the app down for a little while because I have my own homemade little.
Yeah, I was gonna say, makes
That'll
you a big in a
that'll
way.
be here in May,
Yeah.
and so I'll
wow.
wait a few years before I throw my hat back in the ring for that.
Congrats on that. I'm the
So if you
biggest.
need any tips, I have a 1.5-year-old, so I just went through it.
I need all the tips, please, all the advice.
I am the biggest champion of fatherhood. I just think it's the greatest thing ever.
It
It's
is
my
the
favorite.
best.
It's by far my favorite like role I've ever played in life.
go.
It's the
Yeah.
absolute best. I got
Better
two
than
daughters.
host of this show?
I'm looking
Way
forward
better.
to
I
it.
really, I even tell people, man, I said this on the All NBA show the other day, but I love playing basketball more than I love analyzing it. But I might like coaching it more than I like playing
Oh,
it. Like
baby.
but specifically my kids. You know, like
yeah.
I just love coaching them. It's just such
We
a
got to
cool
talk about
thing.
Coach Adam in a future episode of this show.
Oh man, I had a
we got to do a deep dive on Coach Adam.
I had a wild one the other day. I'm not going to lie. Maybe we'll get to that one time. Let's talk a little Nuggets here. You're a Broncos guy first and first. Before the show, you were talking about this is about the time you start to lock in on the Nuggets. Is that right?
Yeah, this is the time. I do not have the brain capacity to do the two sports all at the same time, especially the NBA is 82 games long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that in me. But once the Broncos are done, whether that season ends on the Super Bowl or if we fall short, then I have the capacity to lock in on the Nuggets. I did catch the Christmas game this year, though.
Okay.
I had
Nice.
tickets to the Christmas game.
Timberwolves?
Yeah, so that was an amazing game to catch in person.
Let's do it this way. We got 5 minutes with you here. What do you want to know about the Nuggets? How can we catch you up to speed now that it's Nugget season? Broncos are over.
Yeah,
What can I
absolutely.
do to catch you up, or what can we do?
Let's see here. I know we're sitting third in the West still, correct?
Correct. Third in the West, but it's game by game.
Razor
Game by game,
We can
yeah.
rise or fall off.
We
of one
are
game.
currently dealing with some injuries too, no?
That is an understatement.
Four starters are out, including Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, the first and third most important Nugget, Cam Johnson, maybe the fourth most important Nugget, Christian Brown, maybe the fifth most important Nugget. So it's been rough, man.
So even with missing all of those pieces, we're still sitting third in the West. I'm correct in that statement.
100% correct.
So I mean, it sounds like once everybody's back, we're we're in good shape. Yeah.
Hey man, I think you're up to speed.
I was gonna say, I think it's
we got it.
I know,
this
man.
exercise actually showed us how dumb our job is. Well, yeah, you're
You
up to
just
speed.
summed up
You got
every
it.
show we've done for the whole first half of the season in
You
1
guys
minute.
break it down in much more detail, though. That's
Kind
what
of.
y'all do.
They're really good, but everybody's hurt. So when everybody comes back, they'll be even better.
Even better. Then the league
There we go.
Then the league needs to watch out.
Wow, you really don't have to tap into like February.
But it's been fun. It's been fun.
though.
It's been
Nothing
fun.
better,
Yeah.
But what about that win over the 76ers?
Yeah, we've had some great shorthanded wins, man. All these guys out, and they still get it done. So for sure. What else? What else you want to know?
I feel like Jamal is having one of the better seasons he's had in a while.
Yes.
this year. Am I
Correct.
hearing that correctly?
Yes.
You're hearing it slightly incorrectly. He's having by far his best season.
Easily,
By far
yes,
his best
yes.
season.
Yeah.
He's had great playoff runs. He's never had a great regular season the way he's having right
And
now.
he's having one right now. Well, we love to hear that. And did he make the All-Star team this year?
TBD.
We
We're
will
gonna find out
for
when.
sure on Monday.
For sure on Monday. And this will
But
be the
it's
first year.
But it seems like he's a lock to make
Let's
it.
go. That's what I'm talking about.
I honestly think he's absolutely a lock. And I did today with I keep referencing it, but I did today. We talked about who we want to be in the 3-point contest. I actually think Jamal, if you just listed all the guys you want to be in the 3-point contest, I think Jamal comes up for me like 4th.
Yeah.
I want to see Steph Curry. I kind of want to see Konkanepo.
In the league.
In the league, yeah. I want to see Michael Porter in the
Nuggets.
3-point contest. I want to see Jamal, and then the other 4. I'm almost like I don't know.
with you.
Whoever else,
Has he been doing well since we traded him?
he's been doing great.
He's been doing.
We're talking about him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to get to in segment 3,
He
actually.
too is having. Easily
We've been
the best
doing
year of
great.
his
He's
career.
been doing great,
And he's playing
You
here
know,
tomorrow.
and he plays here tomorrow,
we
so it's
forgot.
kind of a big one.
Nice. That'll be a really good game.
So I mean, you are the average fan, and I mean that not condescending at all. What I mean
as
is,
far as Nuggets go, that's a fair statement.
but is that like, okay, I can check in, I keep one eye on it, you're kind of up to speed on everything. But this time, if the team is good, it becomes so fun to follow him from here on out because everything
Oh
feels
yeah,
important.
honestly, whether we're good or not, once the football season ends,
You're in.
I'm locked in. I'm a Denver boy through and through, and so any Colorado Denver sports team, I'm a fan of, and so yeah, I just trying to bounce back and forth between the two.
We've got Yoke returning here in about a week.
Yeah.
In about a week, he's going to be coming back. And I feel like that's why these next, I mean, knock on wood, these next 4 months, basically, it just feels like there'll be something to be revealed. You know, we'll get Yoke back. We'll get Cam Johnson back after that. Maybe Christian Brown after that. Aaron Gordon after that. Then the games become do or die, and then it's the playoffs. So it's like, I feel like in a weird way, these chapters that are upcoming, we can already see what they're about. We see the titles of the chapters, and they're all like super fascinating, in my opinion.
And so I do have a quick question. I know that in the past there's been a lot of like talkings and rumblings about the Nuggets non-Jokic minutes.
Yep.
And basically we've been playing every game with
Yep.
non-Jokic minutes and still pulling out dubs. And so has that chatter decreased? Has it deceased? Are people still saying we're not good when Jokic isn't on the floor?
They're definitely markedly better than they used to be.
Yeah.
They're 9-6 without him right now, which does feel like in years past, especially because of the other injuries they've had, they would have no chance to do that.
Yeah.
And I think this year it's honestly been kind of fun to watch, even,
Nice.
which is the most surprising part.
Yeah, they actually look like a real team now.
Yeah.
When Jokic isn't on the court.
Not just
And
Jokic
even and when
friends.
everyone's healthy, I think there's something too. I think the non-Jokic minutes, unlike previous years where you felt like you survived them, they check into a game now, and I'm hopeful that they'll actually win them. That it's a
Right.
weapon.
There's
It's-
a real chance
It's
they
a
might
new
win 'em.
weapon, not a hold on while we just try to hold our breath, which is
Yeah,
cool.
That's nice. Yeah, that's a breath of fresh air too.
Before we get you out of here, Javon, we appreciate you coming in, obviously, to promote Big Brothers Big Sisters. Your
Absolutely.
story about it is really a cool one. It's kind of the best version of the story, but it's not unique. There's a lot of stories like this
Yes,
with
there
Big Brothers
is.
Big Sisters. How can people get involved, and what would you say to try to encourage people about this is one way to kind of support DNVR, even though it doesn't do anything for us. We don't
Yeah.
make any money off this, but it is something that we believe in. So how can they get involved?
How can you get involved? There are multiple ways you can get involved. I would say the two biggest ways are to either become a mentor or become a financial supporter of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. You can visit our website at biglittlecolorado.org to find out more information about either one of those two paths. We are a nonprofit, and so we need that money on. Money is always a good thing. Time is the best thing that you can give us right now. You can go find our application and more information about what it is to be a big in our program. And that website, we also have a fundraiser coming up. April 9th, the Big Easy Casino Night fundraiser. So if you're a person that likes to gamble and also support a good cause, we have a way for you to do both of those at the
What
same
kind of
time.
gambling is it?
There will be, if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be some poker, some blackjack. It'll be a full casino night.
That's a fun thing to do, man.
And
That's
so
really cool.
Check out our website, please. Get involved any way you can if you have the time. If you don't have the time, find the time.
You know what? I'm not even bummed that it's not West Virginia Javon Carter anymore.
you go.
I'm actually, this was actually
guy's
better.
even not- that guy's
At
not
first,
even
I was
that good,
disappointed.
man.
I was a little
You
bummed,
got
but
Javon Carter from Denver, Colorado.
there you go.
You might be better on offense. It's hard to say.
All right, let's take a break. On the other side, D-Line's going to come back, and we're going to break into Michael Porter Jr. It's time to recontextualize this trade. Now that we've had half a season to look at it, I think it's even more interesting than when the trade went down. Let's get to that on the other side.
Guys, if you have a business, maybe you got a little side hustle, maybe you're trying to set up a new business, take on a new venture, you've got to power that business with Shopify. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners that are just getting started. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. Setup is fast with Shopify's AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines that help you edit product photos as well. Marketing is built in as well. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. And as you grow, Shopify grows with you as well. You can handle more orders. You can expand to new markets. You can do that all from the same dashboard with Shopify. Shopify is a great product. They power the DNVR merch store as well. And they've seen us as we grow from a small outlet to, a merch store that serves multiple cities, multiple markets, and customers all over the world. So in 2026, stop waiting, start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Go to shopify.com/allcity, shopify.com/allcity. Have Shopify by your side. Also, shout out to our friends over at Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers. Look, man, in basketball, tough matchups are won by teams that work together. When life throws you its toughest challenges, like a cancer diagnosis, for example, you want the best. You want the absolute best by your side. For more than 30 years, Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers has rallied behind Coloradans, treating more adult cancer patients than anyone else in the state. So, when that real medical emergency hits, when you've got trouble like that in your life, you got to go with the best. There's no messing around in those times. That's where Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers come in. They've rallied behind Coloradans. They've been in this community forever. They treat more adult cancer than anyone else in this state, because fighting for each other is what great teams and loyal fans like you and I and everybody here do. No matter the opponent, Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, the official sponsor of Denver sports fans. They've been doing it for more than 30 years. They've always got your back. They're Colorado through and through. Fighting cancer is what great teams do. If you have any needs, reach out to Colorado Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, the official sponsor of Denver sports fans.
Back here, segment 3 of the DNVR Nuggets podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed Javon Carter. Go ahead and throw us a like. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you tune in every single day, or else. We have some great stuff coming up, man. It really is Nuggets time. We've had to sacrifice a little for
We're halfway through the season. It's finally time for the Nuggets.
We also just had a Nuggets meeting.
Dude, what a
And you know what
meeting, man.
happens after we have Nuggets meetings?
Oh, stay tuned. Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned.
We do have our trade deadline special coming up next week. So
Yeah, that was part of the meeting.
that was part of the meeting.
Yeah.
And we have something cool and fun. So stay tuned. Yeah. Tomorrow is Michael Porter Jr. Day. And when that trade happened, once the emotions and everything else goes down, one of the first things I thought about was like, man, it's going to be crazy his first game back in Paul Arena. If you were to circle the games on the calendar, like in the calendar first came out, this was kind of the first one I looked for, was Michael Porter's first game. It happens tomorrow. There won't be Jokic, and that's a bummer because I would love to see Jokic go up against him and just what that looks like. But another part of me is kind of excited that we might be setting up for a Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. duel.
The Murray quote to end his press conference last night that he said with a big grin on his face, yeah, it'll be good to see him give him some buckets and get him up out of here. I think like those guys.
That's a great quote.
I think those guys really do want to drop 40 on each other, and I don't think that it's that they resent or hate each other.
No,
I just think
it's a good one.
It's almost like a healthy one. And like, look, it's the guy who was the second option, the guy who was the third option, and maybe didn't get more touches because there was a second option there. And I feel like it's, we saw them embrace in Brooklyn, and it was great. The vibes were good. I do want to see a real kind of back and forth. It was all Nets, it was all Brooklyn, it was all Mike in the last one. I would like to see Mike and Jamal trading shots and even trash talking a little bit. I think that'd be really fun personally.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I hope we get that. The thing that I was most happy about was when Michael Porter Jr. came to watch the Nuggets play.
Yeah.
And like, so they're still
in
like,
New Orleans.
They're still like good friends. Like, I love that. So yeah, it would be awesome to have like a friendly back and forth, like how Jamal can get into it with Team Canada guys, like,
Yeah, totally.
if he's screaming into
Oh,
Mike's ear and stuff, like, that
man.
would be dope, dude.
Oh, a screaming in Dylan Brooks' ear type moment
Yeah,
for
yeah,
MPJ
yeah.
would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
What are you expecting, man?
I mean, MPJ's definitely going to go at the Nuggets, that's for sure. I got to think it's going to be a little bit emotional. He's definitely going to get a really thorough video tribute. I feel like there are tiers of video tributes that teams do for their ex-players.
Tears is the right word.
Like when a guy wins a championship and is an integral piece and has been a founding member of a team for a long time, like Michael Porter was, he's going to get the full treatment.
Yeah.
When a guy was maybe just had a cup of coffee on a team for a season, maybe they just get a still image and a thank you banner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to be a real one.
Porter's going to get the full treatment, and he absolutely deserves it. But I do think it's going to be an intense game just from a matchup perspective.
Yeah. And I personally think Mike that MPJ is a lock to have his number retired.
A lock to have his number retired?
I think so.
Lock.
Yeah, I do think so. He did more in that he won a championship and he was an integral part. And he's is he number one on the
3-point.
Well, they already
no, he
gave it
was,
to Curtis
but-
Jones.
I'm
so
just saying,
Small past him.
I believe that this
apparently not thinking
iteration
he's going to
of-
do much.
I believe this iteration of the Nuggets front office believes strongly in investing. So I'm just saying, my point is to what Harrison is saying. I believe that they will make him feel very welcomed back.
I don't want to debate that now. That's probably an interesting topic for another time. It is certain that the big three, it really did feel like a big three. AG kind of came in and made it a big four for a while, but this era really began with MPJ, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and it was like, okay, that's our hopes. That's our trio, and they got it done. They won a championship. But the trade also is such a unique one because he both is beloved, accepted all of these different things, and also I think everybody was excited for the trade. And at the time, I think it was viewed as an overwhelming slam dunk. Now that we're halfway through the year, Michael Porter's having a career year. He's been phenomenal. The Nets have been exactly as everybody predicted they would be from a record standpoint. But yet I think we all learned that Mike had more that he sacrificed when he was here in Denver. Cam Johnson's been here. He was awesome in Brooklyn, and his numbers were quite not as awesome. And yet, halfway through the year, I feel like this trade is even more of a win-win than I thought 4, 5, 6 months ago or whenever it was that it went down. And I'm curious if you guys agree.
I mean, yeah. First of all, there's been this notion of better depth in Denver that I think is less a notion, more of a fact. And part of that was kind of changing up the cap sheet going forward. Now, granted, Jonas Valanciunas missed a lot of this January stretch, but this is a team that was less built around a big 3.5 or a big 4, and more about let's try to get 8 solid guys in there that can really play well together. The Nuggets have had multiple lineups that look to be extremely potent, if not historically elite offensively. They have sort of found that rather than having a third guy needing to average 18 or 19, if we build the right 4 guys around Jokic, and then some depth behind it, like our offense overall is going to be just fine. So that is really borne out to be true, right? Like the Nuggets offense has been anything but the issue this year. So it's not. And at the same time, Michael Porter Jr. is getting exactly what he wanted out of this. If you're the Brooklyn Nets, this trade could really not be working out any better, honestly. You get Mike, who the right off the bat the fan base just likes.
They love him, yeah.
There's excitement around the team. They might be able to flip him for future picks, and they already got Denver's picks. For a guy whose contract was once considered like untouchably bad, they're making out like bandits. But if you look at how Denver's season has gone, I think you'd be hard pressed to find many people that would say they should have done things differently.
Yeah.
I've really battled with this one, and I do think it's a win-win, first and foremost. I do think the Nuggets are a better team because of the trade, and I do think the Nets are, and both teams are in better positions. Something I have been thinking about, though, is with David Adelman at the helm, could things have looked a lot different, this season if Michael Porter Jr. had been here than they did with that roster under Michael Malone?
They certainly have for Peyton Watson, for example.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I mean, I think I was leading the charge of this is a great trade the moment it happened. This can make the Nuggets offense look differently. This can change up how they run the bench unit and everything. But with what David Adelman has done in terms of changing the identity of the Nuggets, with how he's injected confidence into some of these guys that did not have it last year, and the leap we've seen some of them make, because Michael Porter Jr., what he's doing in Brooklyn, he wasn't doing in Denver, even when he was running the show.
Right.
Even when he had those opportunities when Yoke wasn't playing or when Jamal wasn't playing. So I think a lot of that comes back to the organization was a lot to blame for him hitting the ceiling that he did here. But I do wonder, just because David Adelman has helped unlock so much, maybe things would have looked a little different. They could have looked a little different if, Porter was still here.
The depth part of this is a big deal, but the truth is that the only depth piece that could not have been afforded to the Nuggets is Jonas Valanciunas. The other two guys are minimums. Jonas did not play during this almost this entire stretch.
True.
And so you wonder, maybe the Nuggets would have survived. They just would have had MPJ, who ironically maybe would have been healthy, whereas Cam Johnson has also missed here.
Yeah.
And maybe Denver's actually even in a better spot if they didn't make this move.
Yeah, I think it just can only be looked at as a win-win. I don't think that the circumstances that when you look at it, there's something about MPJ in this environment that keeps him from hitting his peak, be it his relationship with other players or whatever it is. He needed to feel the freedom of just truly being able to let it rip. I mean, he's doing great. Their team's not not setting the world on fire over there, but it's been great for him personally. And the Nuggets are just in such a great position. We're just in purgatory right now, so it's hard to really see clearly. But the fact that Peyton Watson has turned into Peyton Watson, and we've seen Tim Hardaway Jr. be that guy that can knock down the threes, and Jamal, related or not, has risen to the point where it's okay, you don't really need it. And then when we get everybody back, this team's going to be so much better than it was last year. So much better.
I think the interesting question to ask, I agree. I just think it's a win-win. And I do think a lot of the things you're saying, that at a certain point, the history, you are what the history makes you, and it's hard to break out. You go to a different team, there is no history. You get to be whatever you want. I do think the Malone versus Adelman piece is big on this, and I think Adelman maybe could have done different, but the baggage that was the ancestral memories
most likely it would have looked somewhat similar.
But another thing I think about is maybe the real fallout. If we just try to imagine a world where he was still here and the injuries happened exactly as they did, except for he's still healthy. Does P-Watt break out? Can both P-Watt and MPJ break out in everyone's absence? Or would he have actually, the real fallout is P-Watt would have been still relegated to third, fourth option, and Mike would have just broken out.
There's just no way that Murray would have the usage in the month he's had, and Peyton would have this month, and Mike would look anything like he did in Brooklyn. There's just only so much opportunity to go around. There's one basketball. And so I think the answer is no. And I think part of this as well, first of all, one thing that can't go overlooked, and obviously I am a huge supporter of Michael Porter Jr. in his game, that Mike was ready for this trade, that there was a mental component of, I feel like I'm part of what's weighing this down. I'm getting scapegoated, right or wrong. It's this just isn't, they're ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. I want to do more. And he's talked a lot about the organizational confidence that's behind him right now. And that's Jordy building not just a little bit of the entire offense around Mike. Right. It's this team that says, hey man, if you go 4 for 16 and we lose tonight, that's okay. Right. And wouldn't have been the case here in Denver. And I think all of these things are huge factors, and Mike kind of getting to what his potential is after the injuries. And so I just don't know if it's as simple as I like Mike. They want a title with Mike. I, in a lot of ways, wish Mike was still here just because I love watching him play. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, he could have just done this in Denver. I think for a lot of reasons, he simply would not have.
I definitely, the one thing I will give Mike, and this is a big one, is I think he's better than I thought he was. You know, he's a really good player, and I always thought he was a really good player, but he is probably better. Are you on a Zoom?
Yeah, I just realized I actually need to go.
Are you serious?
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm on a Zoom.
You're both on a Zoom right now.
Well, I don't have to. I can
He doesn't have to go, but I gotta go. See you guys.
Incredible.
Okay. I'm moving to
Yeah,
the
move
middle
on over
shot.
here with. That
Do you,
was-
guys, do you guys remember our first tagline? We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fine.
I know we had a Nuggets meeting. That's also a very important meeting.
So I think Mike's just better, and that's cool. And it's honestly like, I thought maybe
The
if
seat's really warm.
there,
Jeez.
I thought that might have felt like more of a negative than it actually does. I'm excited for tomorrow night. I definitely think it was a win-win. And here's the last thing
sure.
I'll say on this list thing. We have to be careful how we analyze the sport. The more I cover it, the more I feel like there's so many variables that we can't ever feel like we actually feel them all. And one of them is that Cam Johnson has felt underwhelming in his individual performances. But I think that he can be underwhelming and low usage and it not be an issue
I agree.
is actually a feature, not a bug. And Mike was this for many years. You know, he wasn't like he was complaining very much. I mean, a handful of times, but it wasn't like it was an issue. And I think that's easy to be like, we got to trade Cam for somebody else. The truth is, I think it's fine. Denver's offense is incredible, and Cam's happy to be diminished in his
When
role.
the
it
Nuggets
seems.
were healthy, let's not forget, they had the best offensive rating of all time.
Right.
all time.
This offense got significantly better
And it
without
might-
Michael Porter here.
And it might go back to that, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as everything snaps back into place.
Well, I think there's two. Obviously, this all works together, and I think one key factor in this is just that Jamal Murray is who he is now, and so what you have is
That's
a
true.
bona fide second option that does not need some sort of quasi third option to kind of bolster that.
Yeah.
And when you have that, especially when you're healthy, maybe it's just better to have a fourth and fifth guy. And like you've seen the way Spencer Jones has fitted alongside Yoke. Like if there's that level of offensive foundation in the two-man game and Murray's that reliable, to some extent, maybe you'd rather just have guys that stand at the right place at the right time and don't need to do much, and it can add up to something greater.
Here's the thing, though. The bench, and this goes back to my point about earlier when I was maybe pushing back a little on this being a win-win. And that's a reason, and the number one reason why the Nuggets have the best offensive rating of all time when fully healthy at their leading league in offensive rating is because of the non-Jokic minutes. And who's been instrumental in those non-Jokic minutes for most of this season, or a lot of this season? That was Cam Johnson.
I would say for a small portion, but a meaningful portion. I don't know that I have a big, like if you told me going forward, is that going to be the case? I don't know that I have a big enough sample size to know
But
that.
I mean, when that was happening, when Cam was on the non-Jokic minute lineups, like those lineups were cooking. Like those lineups were really good. And for somehow, some way, Michael Porter in that spot never worked. And that makes me feel like maybe, just maybe, Adelman could have made it work with Michael Porter Jr. here.
I agree with that part 100%. I actually think Michael Porter not being good in the non-Jokic minutes was a little on him, but it never
on the organization.
But it never made sense to me that it didn't work. And then he goes to Brooklyn.
He's going to Brooklyn. It's not exactly
and
a cast
it's
of
working.
all-stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it works like swimmingly.
Right.
And also the other thing is when they were healthy, the guys that Cam was playing with are Jonas and Tim Hardaway and Bruce Brown and Peyton, and that's just better than the other units.
And Spencer Jones, man, our guy.
And Spencer.
Let's end today's show, though, Vote. You're the MPJ guy. Why don't you take us to your 5 favorite MPJ moments?
Sure. I love this list because you could ask me any day and I'll have a different list. Here's
that's
my
the
list
best.
today. Coming in at number 5. I don't know if you guys remember. Rookie MPJ 2020 coming off the bench. He's made a little noise. Made a lot of noise in this one game in Indiana. Michael Porter Jr. played in 2020. Michael Porter Jr. scored 25 points off the bench, and he missed one shot.
The crazy thing is this one to me is not a singular game. It's 2 games.
Well, it's a singular moment from that game. You guys all remember the play from that game.
The step back three.
The step back.
Yeah.
The most distance ever covered in a step back jumper ever.
And it was just like that high
He
arching
stepped back
nothing
from
but
like
net.
the elbow to beyond the 3-point line.
To be honest, it was the first glimpse of what you're seeing a lot of now in Brooklyn. And he was obviously real rookie MPJ is injured. So he's coming off the bench. He's not sure when he's playing. It's been inconsistent. He doesn't seem to get the game. And then this performance happens. 11 of 12 shooting. Leads the 11 of 12 shooting.
Here's why this game's not individual, though, because 2 games prior was the Sacramento game, which
right.
was his first breakout, where he was 8 of 10.
8 of
But
10.
why do we think it's that game though?
Because of the step back.
Because of the step back.
Harrison's right about this. But also, missing one shot and scoring 25 off the bench. And it was all these tough jumpers.
Yeah,
and
tough
we were just
jumpers.
Like, he was like, oh, wow, this guy maybe will never miss a jump shot.
Well, this is why I remember doing, because I'm doing Locked On, I think, at this time. This might be it's 2020, so I guess we were technically, we were doing DNVR. But I remember making the comment that Michael Porter could be the greatest player of all time. And it was because we had never watched
Wait,
him.
you're Michael Porter truther?
Yeah, it was Michael Porter Truther. And I didn't mean this like literally as in I'm thinking it's going to happen. I'm just like, all we've seen of him is that he doesn't really miss the toughest shots you've ever seen. And so I don't, like, I have 0.0001% of like experience watching him. But what I've seen is he seems to just be Steph Curry at 6'11".
Yeah, this was the tall Klay Thompson
Wait,
game.
he's a mix of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson?
I was like, he doesn't know how to get a good shot or how to play, and yet he shoots 90%.
And doesn't miss, yeah.
And even though it took a slightly different course than that night felt like, it was the first time I thought, I think they can win a title. I really did.
Yeah.
Like, having added this guy into the mix.
If that's your X factor.
If that's your X factor, I think they can do it.
XFINITY X Factor.
Honorable mention to last year, those 3 games he had in a row. By the way, that was in the chat. That's an honorable mention for me.
I love that game, and I love that you called it out, because that to me it's a 2-game little run, but it was so awesome, man, so awesome.
Number 4, Michael Porter Jr. honestly had a decent playoff run when they won the championship. He did not have a great finals. He did have this one moment. He went through the legs late in the third quarter, down 2 in Game 5. It would ultimately be the clincher. And this was the first game where Mike really had a moment or two. He hit that 3. There's the crowd pop. It was a rough series for him. It didn't feel so consequential because the Nuggets had that thing locked up. It was really fun to see Mike do this. And to this day, as the world's biggest Mike supporter, I still think it was an accident.
I don't even think it was an accident. That was his like subconscious took over. He just felt it, and he was like, "What did I just do?"
Some voice in his head told him to do that.
Yeah, the most 3 back surgery between the legs move you'll ever see. But
That's
he scored.
so true.
And I think later after the game, he said, "I don't know how I did it, but I did it." Well said, Mike.
Somebody told him to do it.
Number 3, in 2021, the Denver Nuggets were playing the Portland Trail Blazers in the playoffs. And in Game 6,
How is this not one?
Michael Porter Jr.
The finisher.
had 22 points in the first quarter.
Oh, that first quarter was incredible.
Now that he finished with 26, that's another thing.
Who cares?
But at the time, I think that tied Devin Booker for the most points in the first quarter of a playoff game in the last 25 seasons.
Wow.
That was per ESPN
The
Insights.
Porter quarter.
He had 6 threes in that quarter. It was literally the Porter quarter. And actually, as I went back and I looked at the numbers, Mike was pretty good in that series, and this game was a big reason why.
Well, we always joke that Yoke was able to beat Dame and CJ and stuff like that. And it is true; he was incredible every game in that series. But you had the Austin Rivers game, you had the Porter quarter. Like, guys made contributions throughout that series. That also, I mean, it wasn't a 1-man thing. And Mike's first quarter, man, they don't win that game without it, and then it goes 7, and what happens? Like that was an all-time first quarter, and I remember it very well.
Especially to clinch a playoff series too.
And I
A
think
knockout, like this is such a big punch in round 1. That's like, all right, they're stunned the rest of the game.
I think like a lot of third options, like in playoffs, Mike has had some really bad playoff series. He's also had some really good ones, maybe more than you might remember. And it just unfortunately wasn't quite consistent enough, but he helped them win some, and this was one of them. Speaking of a playoff series he played really well in, my number 2 moment is the entire Lakers series in 2024.
Just tortured him, man.
Nice.
5 games played. Mike averaged 23 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists. He shot 55% from the field and 49% from 3 on 8.2 attempts per game.
They hated Michael Porter, man.
No fan base in the league outside of Brooklyn thinks this guy's better. Maybe Denver. 8.2 threes per game, shot 49%. In Game 4, he had 27 and 11. And in Game 2, he hit 6 threes again, 6 of 10 shooting from deep. He was just a laser that whole playoff series. And it was awesome how they won that one in 5. And the Lakers thing's continuing. That was actually a really rough series for Denver. And Murray struggled.
Yeah.
Porter really stepped up. So I
Yep.
thought it was his best consistent series. The number one moment, not saying it's the best thing he's ever done or the best he's ever played, but in my opinion, the number one moment we will remember from Mike in Game 4 in the bubble against the Clippers after the loss. Mike told everyone, I think that he thinks he needs to get more touches. That the Nuggets
Well, they're down 3-1. It was ugly.
It was ugly. The Nuggets are relying a bit too much on the two-man game,
Yeah.
a lot from a 22-year-old. And he got filleted for those comments publicly. In Game 5, it wasn't going very well until about a minute left in the fourth quarter. Mike had only shot 2 times, and they were both misses. Do you guys remember his third shot? It's the Mike shot. Just absolutely pulls up and rips one of the most ill-advised threes you've ever seen in your life. Nuggets were up 2, 102-100. It's about 1:15 left. Again, it's 3-1.
They were on a
against
comeback
the
though.
wall.
They were, and if you remember, Denver was up and he'd kind of blown it, and they couldn't stop the bleeding, and it looked like 1 minute was just enough time to lose this at the end.
And they couldn't, and the offense was stagnant. It looked like no one wanted to shoot the ball except Yoke. And Yoke famously kind of sticks his hands out in the air like, what are you doing? And Mike was born.
Oh man, he drains that shot.
I kind of think, years from now, when you think back at Mike in Denver, there's a good chance this is the top thing you remember.
Probably.
He actually did look young. That was kind of wild. That shot was incredible, man. It was the ultimate. You got to be kidding me. It's the reason they won that game, and it's the reason they came back again from 3-1 down. And it really was Mike in a nutshell.
Yep. Very symbolic of Michael Porter Jr.
Over Kawhi Leonard, I believe, right? Wasn't it? I think it was Kawhi Leonard that was on him.
Pull that right back up.
I think it was, but I don't remember exactly.
It
Certainly
was.
was a crazy shot, man. It certainly was a crazy one. And if he missed it, he might have been traded from Orlando.
Yeah.
They might have done it, but instead he drained it, and they went on to have the second great 3-1 comeback.
Yoke's body language is actually, it's not that he goes like this, he freezes, like utter disbelief.
Like
he barely
horror,
looks
like-
up at the rim like, did that just happen? And then Jamal walks away like this.
Yeah. We can now go to top 5 Michael Porter Jr. podcast moments. I'll go to number 1. Nah, that's definitely tough. That's my number 1.
And we're gonna we're gonna stop the list
gonna stop
there.
there.
We're gonna stop the count there.
Number 2 might be the whole Jokic podcast.
Episode?
Remember how good that podcast
It really was. Against
Yeah.
all odds. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Want to do a mini pod on it?
Do we have any super chats? I think I saw Michael Porter Truther. He's a present for this one.
Yeah, unsurprising. Ghostly Gengar, Adam Mataez, please soothe my anxiety. As a firm member in the PWAT propaganda, I can't take the Laker trade rumors reported recently. It will kill me.
He hired Clutch for a reason, you guys. But
I thought Clutch has no influence with the Lakers anymore. That's what everybody's saying.
well, he hired Clutch for a reason. The one thing I will say is I think Denver is determined to keep him. It'll be a fight. We'll see what happens. But guys, if Clutch knows that you use the Lakers to drive up the price, like you're going to have to deal with this. You think it's bad now? Put it out of your mind because it's going to get really bad before it resolves.
I don't think P-Watt's getting traded at the deadline. I think this is a thing that will carry over into the summer. That's when we'll really have to put attention on it. But we will at that point.
And Michael Porter Truther, fittingly, will get the final word here. The offense with Mike and Yoke was a 131 plus offensive rating.
It really worked.
Michael Porter Truther again. It was always a coaching issue, not a player issue. Adelman was the best addition of the summer. Watching Mataez become an MPJ Truther this year.
Me and you, buddy. Michael Porter Truther's over here. What is that? Is he blowing his nose? That's
He's
the
the
huff.
huff
Yeah, the
emoji.
huff emoji. Me and you, buddy. Michael Porter Truthers. I'm so excited for tomorrow's game, man. Look, I hope the Nuggets need to get a win tomorrow, but I am excited for it. It should be great theater. And we'll be back in the pregame lounge tomorrow, about 24 hours from now. I guess 26 hours from now.
Yeah.
Set your clocks. Hit the like button on the way out, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We all silly like the mayor.